Rivalry's here!
Welcome back, everyone. This is Overwatchers, the podcast all about, well, Overwatch. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, he's Patrick Beja, and he is Chris, a.k.a. ChanmanV. Welcome back, boys.
Hey, guys.
This is the final episode before BlizzCon.
Yes. Yes.
I have been playing so much Overwatch. I haven't even played 7.1 yet in WoW. That's how much Overwatch I've been playing.
Well, that doesn't say a lot. We have 2 weeks between shows, and 7.1 has been out for not even 24 hours.
That means a lot. That means I didn't rush to play 7.1. As I should by contract with the world.
Oh, I've been playing Overwatch this morning. Is that what you're saying?
Well, every morning, every afternoon.
You played this morning. Okay.
Yeah, well, I've been playing just a lot of Blizzard because Blizzard games, guys, there's like stuff happening everywhere. In every game.
Exactly.
It's absurd. It's a great time to be a Blizzard fan. I couldn't be more excited going into BlizzCon. God, we're not even 2 weeks
There's all these announcements even before BlizzCon. So, like, what are they going to announce at BlizzCon? It's going to be crazy.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's esports announcements, and they typically don't do that at BlizzCon, so that's expected. I mean, we're totally going to, I'm sure, get a look at some new heroes, maybe some new maps for Overwatch. I'm sure we're going to get the expansion for Hearthstone, which is looking like it's got a Gadgets and theme. Who knows what's happening with Diablo? That's the wild card that I'm cautiously optimistic about. It's gonna be a good time, no matter what. I mean, at the end of the day, we could go to the opening ceremony. The power could go down. They could never fix it all weekend, and we would still have a good time because we're there with our friends.
Hey, talking about BlizzCon, can we get Sombra out of the way now?
Oh, man.
Okay, are we raising our middle fingers? How are we doing this? Because I don't care.
It's like to that point.
I don't care anymore.
We're done with it, man. We are done.
I'm so done. This is the thing, and I'm picking this nit because there's really not a lot of nits to pick as far as I am concerned with Overwatch. It's been a fantastic launch year. They've done some really great things to it, but the single greatest failing has been this Sombra bullshit. I don't care anymore.
I think that, I really hope that they at least acknowledge, like they say, we really wanted to get her out in summer, so that's why we did the ARG, and then it didn't work out, so we were left with things that led to nothing. So then we did other things that also led to nothing, but here she is. Now you can play her.
It's just one of those things that it just felt like it was like planned as it was going versus like having an overall, just like a very well-developed plan as to like, with the progression and whatnot and where it was going to lead and where the conclusion even is, right? It's crazy.
I think they had a plan. They just weren't ready to put her out. And that happened all the time when I was there. You would get everything put together from a community, PR, marketing standpoint, and then the devs would come in, 2 days before you're supposed to release the thing, and they're like, hey guys, so I'm Jeff from the Overwatch team, and we're not ready to ship Sombra, so we're going to delay her by 12 weeks. And you look at everything and you're like, what? I mean, we have everything's ready to go. What do you mean? What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, but ultimately it's, the reality is when you take a step back, it serves the product better and you get a better game in the end. But when you're in the middle of it, it's very frustrating. And I think that's what the community felt a little bit with this ARG. That was the kind of frustrations that we felt within Blizzard when these kinds of things happen. That is what I think happened.
I'm sure there was I'm sure there was some type of misstep along the way. This definitely has gone longer than I think anyone anticipated. I'm sure we'll get some type of explanation. Even if we don't, I'm not worried because the Overwatch team has been very receptive to the feedback from the community so far. They've done a really good job listening to us and making changes, and I'm sure they are more than aware of how annoyed we are with the Sombra lead up at this point. It's fine.
I guess the question is, we'll even have an ARG anymore, like ever again?
I think it's okay. It's totally fine. It just doesn't need to go on for half a year. And if it does go on for half a year, give us a little more substance.
Yeah, give us
absolutely.
like her abilities, or some people are speculating she might have some be able to disable people's special abilities, which could be fun and interesting, and like give us something. But anyway,
like definitive things. Yeah,
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
don't just like give us little hints and stuff. Like actual what is, have it lead to certain points. That's what I would like. Reveal points. That would have been really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, before we really dive into the news rundown, now that we're done yelling at Sombra, I want to let everyone know, if you are coming to BlizzCon and you're wondering about the A-Move TV meetup, because we do one every year, we go to the bowling alley, yada, yada, yada. It's happening again. It will be the Thursday night before BlizzCon at 9 p.m. local time. So whatever time your iPhone tells you it is when you step off the airplane, that's the time we're going off of. 9 p.m. local time at the Bowlmor Bowling Alley in the Anaheim Gardenwalk Mall. It's just around the corner from the convention center. It'll be starting at 9 p.m. local time, one more time, and we'll see you over there.
It's a sweet place too, guys. If you've never been there, it's a lot of fun. There's a bar, there's
pool tables,
bowling, ping pong, and everything there. So it's cool.
Yeah. Someone got engaged, I think, at our meetup
What?
last year.
Okay.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was totally nuts. So, anyways, so we talked about what we don't want to see anymore, which is more ARGs. I do want to post the question, though, because this is our last time to talk about BlizzCon and what our hopes and dreams are. What are you guys hoping to see from BlizzCon in terms of Overwatch?
Freaking Sombra, first of all.
Definitely Sombra.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
hoping another character, too, besides Sombra.
Me too, yeah.
And a new game. I want a new map format, like a game format within them, like with a map, right? Something that's other than payload and capture point and King of the Hill kind of things. I don't know what it's going to be. I have like no hints of anything, so that's maybe just wishful thinking.
I love the Halloween Brawl so much that I hope we get an announcement of some type of PvE content, because that was so much fun. I love the co-op aspect of it. But yeah, we've got to. I think the minimum is like one hero, one map, right? That's kind of the bare minimum. I think we're expecting to see.
I think one hero, one map is the minimum. By the way, it was almost a year ago that the beta launched. It was on the 28th. I remember because I was at Paris Games Week, which is a trade show in Paris, clearly. And I got the email that I was in the beta at the show, so I rushed back home to play the beta and said, F all that. I don't care about other games. But it was the 28th, and we got basically 3 new characters at Gamescom. They were basically almost ready at BlizzCon. I would love if we had more than one. I would love it if we had Sombra and another 2. Maybe, but I know it's probably not going to happen. They had teased both of the new heroes a little bit before. The 3 new heroes, including Genji, which they didn't tease because we were already excited about Cyber Ninja. But there's Soundquake and what's the other one that we already kind of know a little bit about. So I'm hoping 3 heroes that will be released over the course of this year and next, and a new mode. I think they've mentioned they were working on a new mode, and it could be revealed at BlizzCon, because they need a big. They don't need, but they could use a big thing. And one hero, one map wouldn't be quite big enough, I think.
Yeah, it's always one of those things at BlizzCon where every game group, this is where they have to like try to one up each other, or they have to bring something to the table, right, to contribute to the big BlizzCon announcements. I hope we see a new short animation too, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Please, it's been a long time since we've seen the last one, and I feel like that would make a lot of sense too.
I find
Sombra one.
Okay, sure.
I want a McCree
one too.
I really want a McCree one. I find it strange because that is what I'm the most excited for. And like usually when it comes to Blizzard games, I'm most excited for content. But I think for Overwatch, I'm actually the most excited for any additional expanded universe stuff, a new short, any news about the comics that are still not out, anything like that. Like the long comics, not the little short ones that we're getting a proper printed graphic novel next year. But I'm excited about that news, and I'm sure right during the opening ceremony, whoever comes out to fill Chris Metzen's shoes, it's going to be Ben Brode. I'm calling it right now. I don't know who else could do it. Walking on stage.
I would agree.
Yeah, and we're going to be watching a new Overwatch short. I bet you. I bet money on it.
That'd be awesome. I'd be happy. I'd be happy to see Ben and a new short to kick off things off. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so cool. Really looking forward to BlizzCon, guys. It's gonna be a good time. We're all gonna be there. Patrick, you're flying all the way over from I forget where you live now. You're always in a different country, it seems like, every time I talk to you.
Yeah, but BlizzCon, I've been to like 8. It will be my 8th, I think, something like that. I wasn't there last year, but yeah, so I can't miss 2 years in a row. So I'll definitely, I hope we get to have lots of fun with lots of listeners. If you see us, as I always say, come say hi. Please do. It's super fun, and it's always a good time to chat with everyone. So please do that.
I really like being reminded that I am not just talking into a microphone into the ether like a weirdo. So, yeah, guys, thanks. Hoping to see a lot of people
out there.
Yeah, hoping to see a lot of people at the bowling alley, and maybe even in line for hot dogs, overpriced hot dogs. Who knows?
Yeah,
hot dogs?
What?
The con food when you're on the floor.
Oh, you mean
like
the trucks and stuff outside?
No, inside. Inside.
Oh,
like the
inside.
lines for food.
Oh,
There's
okay, yeah.
you have like your option of bad stale pizza and hot dogs.
Oh man.
No.
Bad stale.
Yeah.
To
To everyone within the sound of my voice, if this is your first BlizzCon, leave the convention and eat at a food truck. It's the much better.
There's a bunch of them.
Much
too.
better
They're
option.
good. They're definitely very good too.
There's even going to be a big party open to everyone outside of BlizzCon the first night.
Really?
For the 30th anniversary or whatever of Blizzard in general, I believe.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Cool.
So it's very similar to the Warcraft one they had. Was it last year? 2 years ago.
For the 25th anniversary?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big open party. You don't need a BlizzCon pass to go to it. So if you're local and you don't have a pass for BlizzCon, that party was a lot of fun 2 years back. So they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got a PTR patch, guys, since we last spoke.
Yeah.
And things are going cray-cray. So this is an extended PTR test. So during this PTR test, there's going to be continuous stat adjustments. We're not going to talk about everything here because there's a lot to digest and some of it's pretty minute. But one of the big things that is affecting all heroes, except D.Va now, is that alt costs now cost 25% more for all heroes. Since then, D.Va's has been actually decreased.
Even more.
Yeah.
Oh, her mech one is been decreased, right?
Right. Her mech ultimate has been decreased, so it's basically back to where it was before. But D.Va aside, all other heroes, your alts it's gonna take you a little longer to get that alt. Which I like. Still see it's still the rate at which I see Junkrat tires has really not changed since beta, which is too damn often.
I don't know if people have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think generally speaking, I think we have been seeing way too many alts, especially in the esports scene. It's just crazy about how many engagements are just decided upon combos of alts, and they happen so often, and matches are decided very quickly sometimes because of that. So I think generally just reducing that and making the skirmishes more important. And just a little bit of the one-on-ones and some of the crazy plays that you can see with Widowmakers and Genjis and McCrees or whatnot. I mean, it allows for more instances of that instead of just the Zarya ult mixed with Reaper ult. And we've been seeing way too much of that.
No,
it's almost. I don't know if it's because people have been getting better, at least, at my mid-range level, but I feel like I'm seeing way more ults that I did when we first started the game. It would make sense because you get them with damage and people are better, so they do more damage, but it's become crazy. The ults are sort of part of your normal kit now, almost. You get, one every 2 minutes if you play relatively well, 2.5 minutes. That's way too much, and they're not like something that you use that you keep and that is precious to your action anymore. So I agree it needs to be toned down a little bit. I wonder what it will do. Again, I'm not talking about the pro esports level, but for regular people, what it will do to attack and defense, though, because as we all know, the difference between attack and defense is that attack defense has to hold and attack has to break the hold once to advance further, right? That's the way it works usually. And when you have less ultimates, then you have less chances to actually make that big moment that allows you to break through the defense. So I'm wondering if it isn't going to make attacking maybe a little bit more difficult, and maybe people are going to have to think back when the game first started, that you actually have to flank, you actually have to hunt the healer, and you can't just go in, wait for your ult to be up, and then spray everyone with missiles and hope it works.
Yeah.
I think it's an issue of time more than anything, and I'm sure they're tracking the statistics, so they can always adjust the timers if necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be just payload speed too. There's a lot of little things that they can really help with, but I do agree with you. I think it does. Favor the defense a little bit more, this type of change. But you can still do it though. I mean, it just takes more patience. Like just okay, don't attack until like that Reinhardt shield is completely down on the other team. And things like that. That I think a lot of people just kind of rush in right now.
Yeah,
but maybe paying a little bit more attention, which is probably good for the health of the game.
Yeah.
Actually,
before we move on, can we just say that this is awesome that they are trying these crazy changes, just in the game, because there are a lot of other games that they're just really afraid to make these type of huge changes that they're doing right now in the PTR. So I hope they do this like maybe once every 6 months, just go crazy and just say, hey guys, these might not make it through, but we're willing to just try, just all kinds of very aggressive changes to the characters.
Yeah,
it's really different from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I really like how from the get-go they announced, "Hey, this is going to be longer than usual. We're going to be changing changing things a lot during the course of this test." And I think, for me anyway, that definitely, just calmed me and like, cool. Let's strap in and see where this goes.
Yeah, and we don't get crazy angry. Like when they come up at, or when they're so upfront about it. If something's crazy OP, then we don't get all nuts about it either. Like we're more accepting, like, oh, you know what, guys, this is bad. So you guys should probably try to change in the next patch. That sort of thing.
I like seeing this type of stuff. We saw very similar kind of large changes to heroes multiple times over the course of its balancing act. I mean, it's still being balanced, but we saw some really big ones in the last 2 years.
Awesome.
But let's talk about a couple of the hero-specific ones we're interested in. Obviously, I'm always interested in any change that happens to D.Va. Her mech health has been increased. It's now 200. It was formerly 100. The armor is the same, though. This isn't affecting her armor in any way. She still has 400 armor. And her movement speed has been increased by 25% while she's firing, which just makes me giddy.
No, that movement speed, it I'm not sure if it sounds like a lot or not, but for sure when I play her now, it just feels better, like less awkward when you're firing now. That was always one big issue with me and D.Va in firing. Even when they increased it last time, it doesn't feel right. Like when you're playing these FPSs, you're used to being able to move at least to some extent in firing at the same time. And before it was just I don't know, the mechanic was kind of weird with her. So it feels more natural now with it. And then her increase of 100, she feels really tanky right now. When I was playing the PTR, I probably played like 15 games now in PTR, and half of them with D.Va. She feels really tanky and nice, where before I still felt, even with all the changes that she's had with Matrix and everything, that she still would just die. Her mech would just die still pretty very quickly, especially with Discord and things like that. But now I felt like I was just flying all over the place and harassing back lines, or whenever people would even play support, which is very, very infrequent in the PTR because everybody's trying out all these other characters. But no, she felt good. She definitely felt really good.
Yeah, and certainly in the chat rooms, right? We should be extra super specific on her mech ultimate being decreased in cost. It's the mech call down, so that she isn't outside of her mech longer than she was before. So this is not for her self-destruct. I don't think we actually were that specific before.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what hero-specific changes are you the most excited about?
So the other one is, I would say, I'm not sure if it's excited about, but definitely, I think that some of the changes that are needed were Zarya. Zarya has been nerfed a lot in this one. Her power up, like from the shield and her bubbles, basically, they reduced it by 20%. So that on top of her ult, I think being reduced will bring her down some. And she was being picked 100% like in pro, like on the top level. Even in I think our range, she's probably picked at least 50% of the games. Maybe, maybe
for
even
sure.
more,
She's everywhere.
Yeah, she's definitely not like Reinhardt. I mean, I think Reinhardt's like every single game.
Yeah.
But Flex is usually between Roadhog or her. I feel like with her being the preference. So I think that's really really good. I think Mercy, the recharge after 1 second is extremely strong. That people
For
might
her
not
health.
feel it. Yeah, her health, her regen of health. So when she's only 1 second idle, she'll start to regen versus it was 3 seconds before. So her survivability is going to be extremely, extremely good.
I'm really happy about that.
I have concerns about this a little bit. I've been playing. I don't know why, but I've seen in the past few days a bunch of really good Mercy players, like super good, that I didn't realize you could play Mercy that well. That were hiding so well, and they were so slippery that it was super hard to get them. And even with I think it's a 3 second delay before she starts gaining health now. And with a 1 second delay, I'm thinking it's going to be impossible to get her. I'm just a little bit concerned about that change.
Yeah, I think the pharmacy, like her with Pharah, I think it's going to be virtually impossible to kill her, at least at our level, with McCree's shooting, because you'll have to headshot her, in the air, like to actually take her down, because, you shoot her like 2 or 3 times. I don't think you kill her actually with 2 shots. And then if you have to reload, she's already regenning. So she's probably going to be gaining like 50 health on you, like on average, compared to before.
Yeah. So I think that one might be the one that doesn't make it to live, or maybe they change it to 2 seconds or something like that. Yeah. The soldier additional damage too per shot at the 3 damage is like extremely powerful too. That's the one thing I noticed in PTR. It was just like, wow, I suck at soldier, but I'm killing so many people with soldier. This is a big difference.
Yeah.
So basically, between that and the bullet spread increase, they make it more efficient to play soldier as a burst, 3 or 4 round burst shots. So if you're really good at that, you're probably going to be making a lot more damage.
Yeah. So the spread, it doesn't even matter to the folks that are just kind of pulsing. Or at like the 3 to 4, I think it's 4 to 5 shots. If you're doing that, then the spread nerf is not even a nerf for you. So it's only a nerf when you're just holding the button down, basically. and not many soldier players do that these days.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you should be firing in bursts. Most people do, unless someone gets right up in your face and you're going to be hitting them anyway. But
I don't, but I'm a noob.
And something about getting on soldier, man, it just brings out my inner Call of Duty player, even though I haven't touched that game in forever.
I think the biggest change, character specific change, is Ana, who's losing the move speed boost with her nano boost. Something needed to be done about the nano boost. It is really powerful. It's actually more powerful than I thought it was going to be. And between the fact that it's going to happen less often as every ultimate, and also the fact that she doesn't give move speed, it's going to bring her back in line. The biggest effect, obviously, is for Reinhardt, whose one issue in his kit is that he's not very mobile. And that gave him that, so it was like, dude, you have everything during the nano boost.
I'm gonna really miss this as a Reinhardt player, but something needed to be done.
Yeah, I wish they would have. Yeah, so the big talk going into this, like everybody agreed Ana's nano boost needed a nerf, and people were speculating which one of the 3 boosts, like whether it's speed or damage reduction or just damage, attack damage, would be nerfed, and so they chose speed. But I actually think they should have just nerfed a little bit of all of them because the speed boost for the tanks was actually one element that was really, really nice. Like it's like one of the rare times that the tanks would actually be able to get some kind of offensive combination, right, in terms of ults or whatnot. Well, I think I am going to miss that.
I think specifically Reinhardt. Most other tanks are plenty offensive, I think, normally, but Reinhardt specifically, that just allowed him to just be terrifying. Which I really like. So I'm kind of with you there, and I'm biased. I play a lot of Reinhardt, But
I do too. That's my main. So.
but yeah, something to close the gap other than my charge would be lovely.
No doubt that running.
Agree.
Yeah, no doubt that running down a Lucio with the speed boost was ridiculous. I mean, speed boost Lucio with him, actually boosted as much as he can. That was a little ridiculous.
I guess maybe we need to see how it works out on the PTR, but you kind of convinced me a little bit, which if they tone down all of the others, because there is the speed does create this oh shit moment where you see the beast in front of you and they're like, what can I do? And it's
exactly.
if it is possible to kill him, or if he doesn't do as much damage, or if it's somehow possible to go hide somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Because now it's just it's like the shark in Jaws or something. It's to follow you. It's gonna get you no matter what you do. But the speed, yeah, maybe. So maybe tone down all of them a little bit would work better.
I think the speed, honestly, I think besides that kind of Reinhardt crazy running down everybody scenario, the Reaper ult I think was one of the major reasons to adjust the speed boost, because I don't know if you guys have watched it, but the whole Beyblade thing, it moves so fast, like you can't even block it. I mean, even as Reinhardt, he's just like freaking moving so fast that it's all. It's just like, this is insane. Like, I mean, it's crazy that he can already spin like that, but he's moving like a great distance with it, which is not right.
I want the Tasmanian Devil sound from Looney Tunes to be applied to Reaper when that happens, because that's what it reminds me of.
That'd be a nice touch for sure.
Torbjorn. That's really interesting. It's a really interesting one.
I love Torbjorn. He gets so much crap from randos on the internet, but I love Torbjorn, and this makes me happy.
It's my favorite one, actually.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, is it me, or I don't know if I've played so casually and tried so many things I didn't know what the hell I was doing with, that I've sunk back into a quick play matchmaking rank that is so low that people start playing Torbjorn and Bastion and Tracer, and I'm starting to see the comps that I was seeing when I first started playing the game. So I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't play a little bit more seriously for a while. But I'm seeing Torbjorns, and people don't know how to. Well, they know, but sometimes they just manage to set up a defense that is surprisingly effective when it seemed like it had gone away for a while. But anyway, so Torbjorn,
I still see it on Hollywood. Yeah, I still see it sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's not just me. Basically, there's a little change with the Forge Hammer, which doesn't really matter all that much. The big one is the Scrap. It doesn't matter. It just he's hitting it faster. You don't go around
like trolling people with the hammer? Seriously, Patrick? Come on.
Okay, actually, if it does allow you to upgrade your turret faster, because the swing speed has been increased, but the damage has been decreased to compensate. Exactly. So if it does build the turret faster, it's a significant change. But yes, or if you want to troll people with the hammer. But still, the big one is that he generates scrap automatically, and the scrap he collects from enemies that have been killed has been decreased by 40%. So again, to compensate for that. But what that does mean is that Torbjorn is all of a sudden a sort of armor distribution machine that generates them over time. So hopefully, even if he stays a little bit more defensive, he's going to provide a utility for the team that is going to be possibly, we'll see how it works out, but possibly significant, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to play him yet in the PTR, but
no, I haven't.
The times I've played him, way more armor than like before. Even when you're killing people, or your team's been doing pretty well and able to cap a lot of people, so you're able to pick up the armor just in the past. Man, I'm feeling like it might not be double, but it's pretty close to, I feel like, me distributing double the armor. In fact, I have a lot of excess sometimes, so I just forget, right, to actually throw it out. So I had like a few instances where, everybody's playing Soldier, at least the first few days everybody was playing Soldier. I'd be playing Torb, and I'd be like dueling with a Soldier, and I would just throw packs for myself just to heal up. I'd be hit a few times, and I threw like 4 or 5 and was able to kill this Soldier, and I was like, Yeah, this is good. This is good stuff right here.
I really like the added utility. I've always felt that that the scrap mechanic was kind of strange because if you're doing a good job although I guess it's if you're doing a good job holding and they're dying too far out for you to receive the scrap, is it really a problem because you're kind of winning anyway? But I've always felt the scrap was just strange because it seemed like it was always going against how you want to play Torbjorn to actually collect the scrap.
Mm-hmm. It forced him to get out of his stronghold a little bit, but now you have no reason to, unless you want to distribute even more armor packs. But
right.
It changes his gameplay for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned utility, and that's exactly what they're bringing to Torbjorn, and I like that. I really do.
He needs it. Yeah, he needed it for sure because the ultimate's still really, really strong. It's just the rest of the kit wasn't strong enough for people to warrant being picked. So it's the armor is definitely a big aspect for them to focus on, more so than like damage or whatnot. So I'm glad they chose that. And the actual hammer does make the turrets upgrade super fast. Like level 2 is so easy now.
Yeah, because the turret doesn't build based on the damage you're doing. It's based on how many times you hit it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very big upgrade to him.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, there's more changes. You can go and look it up. The official notes are on the forums, so go check those out. Let's move on and talk about some other tidbits that have come up since we last met. The Halloween Hollywood map, if no one has noticed, is awesome. All the posters have been swapped out. There's jack-o'-lanterns and bats all over the place, and it's nighttime. And folks have been so excited about the time of day shift for the Hollywood map that they've been asking for it to just enter the rotation permanently, maybe have a day and night as an option when you land on Hollywood, and to also bring this to other maps. And Jeff Kaplan got on the horn and said that they'll keep it in mind. So we might see time of day shifts. I would also like to see like weather shifts, like sometimes it's raining, sometimes fog has rolled in. I think that would be interesting.
How could it be high noon then if it's like at night?
Well, it's always high noon somewhere in the world.
Okay.
I was about to say, as
Okay.
it is, McCree seems to be quite challenged in reading a clock. So I don't think this changes things. So I don't know.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's purely aesthetic for me. I don't know if it's like any easier or to play with maybe that kind of setting versus daylight, but it's just nice to see any changes to maps. And, and the setting is nice. That was one of the things.
Honestly, the first time I played it, I didn't even notice that it was like night shift. I just it was like cool posters and jack-o'-lanterns and coffins and bats. That's really neat. And then like I saw everyone freaking out about the fact that it was night. I'm like, oh yeah, it is night. Oh, look at that. It didn't even cross my mind because the draw distance is the same and everything. It didn't really impair my ability to play the map in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, that was cool. I liked it. I hope they do this more. I'm sure.
Yeah, it would be nice to see it on more maps for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the Hollywood thing will not, or the Halloween theme will not be made permanent because that's just how Blizzard does things. It's not like
No.
Hallow's End isn't going to start sticking around in World of Warcraft 24/7. Although I would be okay with that because that's my favorite holiday in World of Warcraft as well. But anyways, before we move on, we have wonderful supporters of this show, aka our bosses, to thank over at patreon.com/Overwatchers, where if you're listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I really like the show, I would like to support these three nerds, that's where you can do so. We are more than halfway to our first goal, which will add a permanent third episode a month to the Overwatchers lineup. So if you want to support the show and get more episodes, that's the way to do so. So huge thanks to our producers, LVE and Kettle and Clock. Thank you, guys. But also on this episode, we wanted to thank the following patrons. Thank you to Will B, who I believe is Will Brode, Ben Brode's brother.
Really?
He's such a cool guy.
Wow.
And he supports, I think, all of our shows at this point. Dude's nuts. Thank you, Will. Also thanks to Christopher F., Inigo Montoya, You Killed My Father, Prepare to Die, Taylor B., David L., Shane H., Jared S., and Matt H. Thank you all so much. I'm noticing multiple names in there that support other Patreons as well. So thank you, everyone, for the support. It means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So, strategy. All right, who put this in there? Was this Patrick?
It was me.
All right,
It was me.
Patrick, what's on your strategic mind? It sounds like you've been playing a lot of Anna.
Basically on my strategic mind is whatever I'm playing at the moment, and that I realize I've been doing wrong for forever by trying something different. I've been playing Ana quite a bit, and it led me to realize how important it is to be aware of where your healer is, and especially with Ana, to just get in line of sight with her. And also, stop jumping around everywhere all the time when there's no enemy around and you want to get healed. It's so infuriating that people don't, try to make the healer's life easier. And I'm sure everyone who plays healer, except for Lucio, who just AoEs anyway, but everyone thinks, yes, you should be aware of what your healer does and where they are, and pay attention to line of sight and all of those. But especially for Ana, if you have an Ana on your or a Zenyatta actually, but if you have either of those, just pay attention. And if you need healing, don't just spam "I need healing," which is already better than not saying it. But look around, trying to find the healer, and go to where they can see you, so they can actually heal you. Yeah, I think being aware of your healer is super important, and a lot of people don't, including me until a few weeks ago.
I was about to say, sir, A, I agree with everything you said, but B, that's your intro was a bait and switch, because you said, what's on my mind, things I should be doing that I wasn't, and then you just proceeded to smack talk every person you tried to heal as Ana this past week. But you are absolutely
No, I agree.
right.
I agree. I'm completely guilty of this. But I mean, I think even now, and that's why it's actually strategy. I really think so. It's actually strategy and not just common sense, which you might think it is. But even now that I have experienced it, I don't always realize that when I need some healing, I could just get in front of Ana or any healer. And the other thing is, you help them build their ult if you let them heal you. So if you have a pack next to you and your healer next to you, don't get the pack. Not just because they could use it, but also because you build their ult when they're healing you. So it actually makes you a much better player and makes your team more efficient if you pay attention to those things. So that's my 2 cents.
As a Reinhardt main, I can tell you also too that in the beginning of maps, take damage. Like don't even have your shield up actually in the very beginning for you just pick and choose. And obviously don't get discorded and headshotted immediately either. But but definitely take damage so Ana can boost her ult. In fact, it's one of the most OP things prior to the patch that they had earlier, is that people would just literally just sit there as Reinhardt or Rodog and just like sit there, take damage, and Ana would have her ultimate in like 15 seconds or something ridiculous like that. So I mean, that's definitely important. To your point, Patrick, I think Ana, more so than any of the others, they just have this expectation that Ana's designed so that she can heal from crazy distances, right? Like I know the pros, like with Winston is so much more effective because she can heal Winston from so far away, and it's incredible. But we can't play like that.
Yeah. Also,
at the level that we're at.
She can't heal you through a wall
come
either.
To us.
So
come to us so we can heal you.
Don't be around a corner.
See what, Garrett? I don't think we heard you.
I said also she can't heal you through a wall. So be aware of that. I think a lot of what is being said here can be chalked up to something that we seem to be repeating a lot on the show, which is join team chat.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are playing support, join team chat and tell everyone when you can and cannot see them. Reinhardt.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the ideal situation, but I think even for the not ideal situation, it's I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. So playing Ana, Patrick, just real quick, have you? So one thing when I've been really surprised, I guess, the more and more I play Ana is how hard it is to kill Ana, especially when you're a flanker too. Like I've flanked with Diva, I've flanked with Winston and some of the just other characters that are meant to flank the support line, and I just can't kill her. Like she sleeps me, or she uses her grenade, and it's just like, holy crap, she can kill me. This is insane. Have you noticed any of that when you're playing her?
Patrick, are you muted?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, because I'm trying to fix it so I can get you to listen to other stuff later. I have, I've been getting better, and at the beginning I was just dying repeatedly, no matter what. But the reason I started playing her was that I saw Annas that were really good at this, and I realized that it is possible to actually survive, and if you play well, you can do a lot. And I've been getting better, and I can tell you, there is no better feeling in the world than seeing an enemy coming at you, especially if they're ulting, sleeping them and just running away. And the sleep lasts for really long. I mean, it's 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah,
that's forever in game time.
Yeah.
And so either you sleep, or you can do the combo to kill them, which is awesome if they don't have a lot of health, or just sleep them. Maybe if you're adventurous, do a little emote.
Throw some candy at them too. That's cool.
Exactly. I've seen that happen more than once. And then walk away, and they're just sitting there. They can't do anything. It's not as frustrating as a full stun, because it's not like you're gonna die, hopefully, unless again you're very low health. And if anyone shoots you, then you just get up and it's fine. So I think it's a really fun mechanic, and it works really well. So. Yep. And so to answer your question, I have been getting to a point where I can survive a lot as Anna, a lot more than I thought I could. But you really have to pay attention. Usually you shouldn't be too far away from your teammates. If you are, chances are you're going to, once or twice you're going to manage to get away, but probably not as much as you would want.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's move to our community roundup and talk about some of the fun stuff that's been coming out of the community since we last met. And right off the bat, Patrick, I'm so glad you do this, because
there's a lot.
You always put things in that I miss. I've seen some of these. I, however, completely missed the gentleman doing play-by-play commentary of his own play of the game over the in-game voice chat.
That
hilarious.
Is so brilliant. So let me see if I can play it for you guys here. Let's see. Where is it? Here.
Copy. It looks like Unsteady got the play of the game.
That's the play of the game. Actually happened.
Now Unsteady's gonna be going straight into this. And guess what, McCree? You're not worth it. McCree falls down. He's out of here. Is it done? Not by a long shot. He's looking for the next opportunity. He's gonna go straight to Transcendence. Is it necessary? 100% not. That was not worth the play of the game. But we all got to sit down and witness it.
He's got a good caster.
There's the Transcendence. Is it necessary? Absolutely not.
Really good. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
Imagine having this happen in your game. It's so awesome. I would have applauded after this.
It was hilarious. He's got a good voice for it, for one. And B, it was a ridiculous play of the game. It was a pointless transcendence, but it was hilarious. If you want to see that, by the way, it's posted to YouTube channel Oh Dear Space Lottie. So OHDEER space LAWDY if you want to go look that up. We've also got a link to it in the show notes over at emove.tv/Overwatchers.
Just go to the show notes. There are the links to all of these.
Yeah.
The second one is a video titled Synchronized Dance in Overwatch. And that is also something that is happening in-game. I guess maybe I can play it. It's a funny channel. I mean, at least this one is kind of funny.
It doesn't really get the point across without the visuals, though.
One guy, wait, let me pause it. One guy getting 4 or 5 of the same character, getting them to get out of the starting area and do synchronized stuff as the enemy team shows up and is like, what the hell is happening? So let listen to what happened. I think you get a sense of
Jumping,
it.
No. Shields up, no. Fireball up, no. Shields forward, no. A&D, no.
You gotta watch this, guys.
Yeah, you have to see it. The audio does not do it justice.
And the thing is, at first you see the enemy team starting to play normally, and then they see all of this happening and they stop. They're like, what the hell is happening here? It's a 6 minutes video. It's really fun.
Yeah, my favorite part of the synchronized Roadhogs when they all throw their chains up in the air simultaneously.
It's pretty well done.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move on to the next one, which I really loved. It's basically we're starting to see shorts done in Overwatch, kind of, and this one is a situation. I don't think I even need to explain what it is. I think by the sound, if you've been playing Overwatch, just by the sound, you're gonna understand what this is. Just the title of this video is "Mercy Ruins Everything." There you go.
Helden sterben nicht.
The title of that video is actually The Reaper Experience. And it is, it's great. I love the setup for it too, because it just looks like your standard guy showing you a great highlight of his, play of the game Death Blossom, but then it quickly turns into, oh, okay, this was planned and this is hilarious.
Exactly, and it's so the pause when they all res and he's looking at all of them, and you see you hear the little beep that indicates you have an enemy on the point or you're capturing the point. It sounds like crickets. So it works so well in this. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's so
and then they all do their ults at the same time.
6 ults at once.
It's so Looney Tunes. I love it. This is my favorite thing I saw this week. I also loved this way to troll as Ana, which is putting an enemy to sleep and then hiding in the boxes on Ilios.
It's so brilliant. I've seen several versions of this, actually. The thing is, with the sit emotes, you occupy a very small amount of space.
Yeah.
So as Ana, you can do this. You put someone to sleep and then just go around the corner.
You clip
sit in the box. Basically, the geometry makes you disappear. You're just inside the boxes. And you see the other person coming up and going like, where is she? What happened? It's a fantastic troll.
This is what my son does all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Like he does it all the time. Junkrat on Eichenwald, there are all kinds of bushes you can hide in and are completely invisible. Like there's one that's right next to the payload point, on the very first point. And he just sits in there, and then all of a sudden you just start seeing bombs coming. As he's getting up, he's throwing bombs from the bushes. He does that all the time. He has every single city emote, and he tries to find this. So I gotta ask him if he knows about this Ana one.
Oh man, that's great. It's like the poor man's Metal Gear Solid. I love it.
Basically,
yeah.
There's another one, actually, a Tracer version, which I saw. I didn't put it in here, but I'm sure you could find it easily. Basically, someone was playing Tracer on defense on Hollywood, and at the corner, around the gate that opens, if you're on the defense side of this, on the right, he was bringing, by shooting at them, a bunch of boxes there. And he was shooting them. It took forever. It took maybe a minute and a half as the game was going on. And someone in voice chat was telling them, hey, can we report this Tracer? She's doing nothing. She's shooting boxes. And it's not looking like he's contributing to the game much. And he's like, and the guy who plays Tracer answers, dude, you don't even know. This is so OP. You'll see. I'm gonna win the game for us. And you're like, what is he doing? And so he puts the boxes in the corner, sits in that corner, and it turns out from the other side of the point, you can, from the other side, you can actually be on the payload once it's running from here. So you're basically preventing the payload from moving, but no one can see you. So they capture the first point, and then the payload moves, and it gets to that the gate that has opened, but Tracer is there, so it can't move anymore, and no one can see her. And they didn't go to the end. Maybe they got her after all. But it's such a troll. It's so fantastic, and it actually was working. So there you go.
I love that kind of stuff. I also love when Rudism finds new inventive ways to play games. If you don't know who he is, this is the guy that played World of Warcraft with a dance pad. But he recently streamed himself playing Overwatch as Hanzo with a plastic bow and arrow.
It's a Nerf bow.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Oh my gosh, my youngest son would love this. Holy smokes. He has one of those Nerf bows.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
And he actually got a double kill with it, and he was so surprised. He's like,
Oops. That's sorry.
I don't know how he controls things exactly. I'm guessing he has some kind of a joystick somewhere that he uses to move around or to aim. But yeah, and when he gets the kills, he's like, "Oh my God, I got kills!" It's really something to behold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
The last community highlight I really wanted to talk about was the real reason Symmetra's Halloween skin turrets have eyeballs. Because people have been using the creepy smiley face. It's a Junkrat spray, right?
Yeah.
They put that up. They put the boo spray below it. And then they take two Symmetra turrets and make it the eyeballs on the creepy smiley face. And it is the stuff of nightmares. I love it. It's so good.
The thing is, when they're just sitting there, it's already kind of disturbing. But when you have an enemy that goes by and these eyes start actually shooting lasers, it's freaking horrible.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's just fantastic. So I love episode after episode. I'm always surprised at the weird stuff that the community finds.
It's every day, man.
Yeah,
24 hours.
I
It's
love the
crazy.
Overwatch subreddit. I wish the
It is so
Hearthstone
crazy.
subreddit was even close. It had like one iota of the creativity and humor that the Overwatch subreddit has.
You can't do as much.
I don't care. I don't care. We need more disguised toasts of the world to, make things and not just crap on the game.
True.
But it's great. Overwatch Reddit, you guys get my applause for the best gaming Reddit that I regularly check out. So, anyways, before we wrap up, Chris, what is going on with Overwatch eSports?
Overwatch
There's
eSports.
a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Obviously, the biggest thing is that I like this. Actually surprised me. I didn't know they were going to do this before, BlizzCon or even after BlizzCon. That they confirmed that there's going to be an eSport league, which everybody following the scene. We knew they were going to have one, but we didn't know when they were going to actually. I didn't think they were going to announce it until everything was finalized.
Well, this wasn't
format and everything.
This wasn't an official announcement though. This was like Bobby Kotick saying, "Yeah, we're doing one." Like that was about the extent of it. It's not like they made a big deal. Like there was a blog post and an announcement. It was Bobby Kotick in an interview.
It's the first time somebody's actually said yeah, basically to that we're doing a very just a full out Overwatch league. And of course none of the specifics were announced, but still it's the very first time that somebody's from Blizzard or Activision has acknowledged that there will be a huge Overwatch league.
Yeah. It's funny, if it wasn't Bobby Kotick, I would be sitting here making jokes of, ooh, that person probably got in trouble. But it's Bobby Kotick. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Exactly.
So how does this change things for the Overwatch esports scene? For someone who doesn't know exactly the inner workings of the different organizations that make up esports, for a specific game, how does this change things for Overwatch esports?
Well, again, it really depends on what they end up, the way they structure the league. So the fact that it's a league already tells you something. That it's not.
So what does that mean? That's my question.
Yeah.
Actually.
So the fact that it's a league means that, or at least my perception of it is that there's going to be X number of teams involved. Like a set number of teams. It's not going to be like an open tournament circuit type of thing. So there will only be an X number that are in this. It's just compared to, I don't know, just either Heroes or StarCraft, like a Premier League, right? Like you can make it. So there'll be 16, I don't know, 32 or something like that, and they'll play just like the NFL, just like some of the other professional sports. esports.
So they
they'll
select the teams like every year, and there are chances that some teams will go out and some teams will come in. And
Yeah, there'll probably be like a second tier where it's like a challenger league that can qualify and potentially move up, while some move down based on performance. That's what I'm guessing. But a league means that there's going to be a set number of teams, for that season, and that's cool. I think that's really exciting. I mean, I think that allows for I think organizations to, or maybe Blizzard to figure out a structure where organizations, I think Riot, like you buy into it, right? Like there's a way to kind of, there's that kind of element to it. Kind of like the NFL.
Isn't for Riot pays their players, right? It's actually financed by Riot itself, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Riot provides, they provide some type of, I don't know if they call it salary, but they do give each team organization a set amount of money, and that money goes straight, usually goes straight to the players or whatnot.
Yeah, a similar thing was just announced for Heroes of the Storm as well, going into 2017. They'll be providing a salary for their qualified teams as well.
Yeah, and that's probably very similar to what's probably going to happen for Overwatch. I think a lot of the esports, the Blizzard esports, are going to converge, and you'll see structures that are going to be pretty similar, particularly in Heroes and Overwatch, given that they're both teams. So we'll see. I don't think they'll announce like all the details until January or February probably, but we should hear.
You don't think at BlizzCon? You don't think they're going to tell us these things at BlizzCon?
I think we'll hear more, but I think they'll take the next two months to even get feedback from BlizzCon, whatever they say at BlizzCon. I remember they did that with WCS last year, where we actually had a summit like at BlizzCon, and surprisingly they made changes actually based on that in like the month and a half after it. So that was really, really cool, and I'm expecting they would probably just spend that time, just why announce it early when I can announce it in like a couple months later, and possibly get even more feedback than they have already. So, anyways, it's really, really cool. It's definitely like a giant league. I think it's going to be, I expect it to be very ambitious and something that we've never seen, from any Blizzard title. Definitely excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited as well. They typically don't have public talks at BlizzCon about their esports plans, right? Like the summit you talked about was private last year.
Yeah, it was private last year.
And looking at this year, there are no public esports panels outside of the college esports panel.
That's true. That's definitely true. I'm sure something will come out though, and whether it's just the interviews, just tons of interviews during BlizzCon. So definitely Nate and some of those other guys will be interviewed by a lot of media, just a lot of press, and I'm sure something on that's going to be the number one question, right? It's like, okay, give us some details about the 2017 league. So something will come out.
Yeah, and there's still time as well. I mean, we've already gotten the details for Heroes and Hearthstone as of this morning announced.
Yeah, this morning, exactly.
Typically, it happens in blog posts before BlizzCon, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get it. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility if tomorrow or early next week there's some big post on playoverwatch.com detailing what the 2017 season is going to look like.
And you bring up a good point. Why don't they just announce these things at BlizzCon?
Because there's already enough to talk about.
I guess so, but I guess they could have another panel that just literally has everybody announce their esports plans.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily. I think if I doing the BlizzCon planning the schedule, I would have that stuff to fill the in between games on the esports stages.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I would have StarCraft esports discussions in the arena in between matches, and same thing for Hearthstone, for Overwatch, for Heroes, etc. I think that'd be a really good way to handle downtime.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, moving on. The World Cup, the groups were set, and Nate Nanzer had this whole video where there's like these little balls in these bowls, and it's supposed to, just represent a random selection. But the groups are there.
Wait, they did? They had
that? Yeah. He actually had these balls that he opened up, and then he was pulling out names of the countries and stuff. You can watch it. It's on the Facebook page. But yeah, the groups. So Group A is Sweden, Spain, Canada, Brazil. Group B, USA, Russia, Germany, Chile. Group C, South Korea, Finland, Australia, Taiwan. And Group D, China, France, Singapore, and Thailand. So I think that the groups are pretty. I think they got a pretty good distribution here. A few of them are going to be highly contested, like for that second spot, I think, because the top two teams come out of the groups into just a single elimination top 8. But
and that's what we're going to see at BlizzCon itself, right?
Yeah,
the top 8.
Yeah, exactly. The top 8 will be there. So this group stages, I think, is going to happen on the 29th, just a few days before BlizzCon. But but it'll be interesting to see. I just want one of the NA teams to get through. So hopefully USA gets through, and possibly Canada. So, Canada has a lot of non-pro players on it. So I'm hoping they get through.
So what do you think? Group A, it's going to be Sweden, right? I'm guessing that's going to win.
I pick Sweden, Spain. Yeah.
Group B, US and Germany. Chile, I don't know, but I'm guessing not.
Russia's really good though. Russia's got they've got Shadowburn. Shadowburn's one of the best. It is the best Genji, a lot of people think, in the world. So
okay, so US Russia, we have a little bit of a Rocky 3 happening.
I know, exactly right. That's a highly contested.
Is it 4?
Group.
Maybe it's 4.
4.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
they blur together for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Group C is South Korea, Finland, Australia, and Taiwan. That
one's clear. That one's pretty clear. South Korea and Finland.
And Finland. And I'm so happy that Finland is not in the same group as France, because I share my time between the two countries, and my wife is Finnish, so I would have hated to have to root for one of those teams in the same group.
Well, you still might.
I hope they don't. Yeah, I still might. That's true.
Might have to pick one.
South Korea and Finland. Group D, China, France, Singapore, Thailand. China and France, right?
Well, right? So I would have initially said the same thing, but so China originally was bringing their entire IG team. Like, it was a preset team, like a pro team that was coming to represent China. But apparently half of them couldn't get their visas in time.
Oh.
So 3 of them won't be. There'll still be 3 people from the same team. I'm sure China will be pretty good. And then France, has France could have had literally the best team, I think, if they would have had all their top pro players, but unfortunately they don't. So there's a few slots that are not, or some players.
Are you saying AlphaCast is not the best player
because
in the tournament?
Yeah, and I think that might hurt France. But apparently Thailand has been beating a lot of teams in scrims. Like at BlizzCon, and I didn't know much about Thailand, but everybody's been talking about Thailand. So
oh my God, I really hope
well.
France makes it to BlizzCon. I mean, I really want to see AlphaCast and the entire French team on stage. Oh my God, I really hope they make it. Don't jinx it, Chris.
I think I'm
telling you what people are saying.
I think with the unusual team setups that we're going to see some upsets.
Yeah, what's really, the thing I'm most excited about is that, a lot of these teams, obviously they have a redundancy in roles. Like, so they'll have, let's just say some teams will have like 4 DPS players that are, or at least pro players that are known for DPS. So you're going to have to actually see these players start playing a different role. Like Taimu, right? We all know Taimu as a DPS player, like literally one of the best DPS players in the world. He's probably going to be playing like support. or I mean, it's not going to be tank, but it's going to be support, just because they have some redundancy there. Because they already have like another good DPS player, and they don't have any support. So Taimu, I think, has played support in other games before. So you're going to see that. That's crazy, right? Like watching him play support.
So but we're going to see a lot of Mercy headshots, is what you're saying. Mercy headshotting.
Maybe Ana headshots. I don't know, right?
Well, she can't headshot, so it doesn't work.
Oh, that's true. I guess she can't. But because of that, you'll start seeing, you'll see some of your favorite players playing different roles. And then on top of that, you'll see comps that aren't normally meta comps. Like people are going to try to use their strengths, right? Or where their players are the best. And maybe Ana boosts on some characters that you're not used to seeing Ana boosts on and things like that. So I'm really excited to see just that type of variance versus just the pro games that we always see.
It's also a fun tournament, right? Because as you said, some of the way the players were selected was as much a good player selection as a well-known members of the community selection, since there was the voting and everything. So in the sense, it is really an open, fun thing. Not an open, sorry. I mean an invitational, semi-invitational voting thing, fun tournament. I don't think... If I would be a tiny bit disappointed if everyone was going in it like everyone's going to be trying super hard, I'm sure.
Yeah, they are. They're trying hard.
Yeah, but let's not see all of the same comps and the exact meta that we. I hope there's gonna be a little bit of mixing it up in that tournament.
I mean, that's what we've come to expect from these kind of inaugural tournaments at BlizzCon. The Hearthstone one way back when was wacky. It was so wacky that Artosis was the winner.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Heroes one the year after that was really strange, and I'm hoping the same thing too, because this is really our only chance to see an kind of off the wall tournament at BlizzCon. Because after this, we get our official. Next year, we will have our official league. It will be the best of the best that make it to BlizzCon, and it's going to be very meta dependent. Other than every now and then you'll see a pocket strat come out that blows everyone's mind, but
yeah. I hope I'll be interesting to see how they present it though, because I felt like there's been just a little conflict of how this is. It's like a World Cup, so people kind of think of it as a country thing, but at the same time, the way it's selected is a very all-starry, fun, event. But so a lot of people at BlizzCon that don't know Overwatch, this will be the first time they actually see competitive Overwatch in any capacity. So
do you think there's a lot of people at BlizzCon that don't know Overwatch?
Well, or at least never seen professional Overwatch. Esports, Overwatch eSports is tiny right now. So
how concerned are you though? Because I feel like if you're not already aware of it, it's probably not something that's your usual cup of tea. So I kind of think anything Blizzard does, it's going to be well produced. I think it'll be impressive to the uninitiated.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they'll present it. Will they present it like a pro, like an actual pro event, or will it be more fun? Like the casual will be having like a lot more fun with it and things like that, because it makes a big difference as to how it's perceived.
I think it's gonna definitely lean into fun, and even if they tried to be super serious with it, which I don't think you should with any esport. I think even in proper events, it's good to inject some humor. But if there are any team interviews, just because of the personalities on the team, it's going to skew into wacky land.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd die to watch folk in an interview or some of those guys.
AlphaCast made a video a week ago or something, and he actually had a super bad Ana cosplay, which was amazing. I wish he would go and actually on stage for the matches in that cosplay. It was lovely.
That would be awesome. I would give for any of the teams to just come out full out cosplay of the character that they're going to
Yes,
play.
exactly. That's what I thought. Like super crappy cardboard diva. That would be. I really hope someone does it. I really hope someone does.
What would you do if the South Koreans were the ones that did it out of all of them?
I would cheer like I have never cheered in my life.
It would blow everybody's mind, dude.
I'd be all for it.
Yeah, totally.
For it.
But anyways, moving on. Last thing, just a real quick, just from the pro scene. So OG and Apex still going on. That's the Korean League, and one of the just the highlight game or what people were looking forward to just in the last week was Lunatic High, which is the Korean team that beat Rogue twice in the Chinese APAC tournament. Ended up losing to Rogue in the finals though. They ended up facing Envious for the first time. So basically a matchup between two of the potentially the best teams in the world. And Lunatic High ended up beating them 2-1. So it's very, very clear that the Korean teams, at least Lunatic High, is in the level of Rogue and Envious. And the teams, they got to play their best to beat these teams. And if they have any kind of off day, they'll lose. And they'll lose. Actually, I think they lost 3-1, not 2-1. But you can watch it. I think Lunatic High, one of their players, they have a few extremely talented players, but one of their players I think is the best off tank in the world, and that's Miro. His Winston, if you watch that highlight on Nubis, his Winston, insane. Just like wow. I thought like this is like Winston's supposed to be weak here, but when he plays Winston, it's Reaper's supposed to be a counter to Winston, right? No, not for Miro. Miro kills Reaper.
What?
He just kind of comes in and out of his shield. He comes in and out of his shield and like barely taking damage and just killing Reaper the whole time. It's crazy good. Great. So if you guys can catch a little bit of that series, you'll see. Envious had an off day though. Like I think Envious at their best can probably still eke out a win against Lunatic High. But they're already here, guys. The Korean teams are pretty much already ready to compete.
It's the beginning
at the highest level. Yeah, exactly.
Well, fantastic. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, which is good. We've got you out on time, Patrick. We hit our goal.
I'm gonna go see Doctor Strange because it's already out in Europe, so I will have seen it before BlizzCon. I was afraid I was gonna have to wait until I came back, but
when's it come out in the US?
The week of BlizzCon.
I think it's November 2nd or
the week of BlizzCon.
Why did they do that?
Because I don't think everyone at Marvel necessarily goes to BlizzCon.
No, I mean, why does it come out a week later? It's so unfair.
Oh, well, that's just what's been happening lately. We get video games first still. It's okay.
Yeah,
sometimes.
That makes up for it.
It's okay, except when it's Star Wars. When it's Star Wars, I actually hate every friend I have in Europe. Sorry, Patrick.
Is it happening with Rogue One again?
I don't know. But whatever. Rogue One's, it takes place in the past. So there's only so many places it can go, so I'm not so worried about spoilers. But when Force Awakens came out, I just wanted to murder everyone. Anyways, reminder to everyone listening, our A-Move BlizzCon bowling meetup is happening the night before BlizzCon, Thursday, November 3rd at 9 p.m. local time at the Bowlmor Lanes at the Anaheim Gardenwalk Mall. Hope to see many of you there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again to our Patreon producers, LVE and Kettle and Clock. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Overwatchers. You can follow the show on Twitter at OverwatchCast. You can email us at mailoverwatchers@gmail.com, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes or over at youtube.com/AMoveTV. Patrick, where can folks find you?
Not Patrick on Twitter and Facebook. I actually have been posting a little bit more to Facebook, some longer form thoughts on gaming matters. I just posted one about the Bethesda no press review policy thing that they announced yesterday, which has gotten a few people quite unhappy, understandably. I also have Pixels, which is a show where we talk about gaming news. You can find that at FrenchSpin.com. Latest episode was everything about the PlayStation VR. If you are still hesitating, go listen to that. You will know whether or not you want it after having listened. And next time we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. So that is also going to be a big one. It comes up on Monday.
I'm so excited for the Switch.
That's about it. Other than that, not Patrick on Twitter.
So excited for the Switch. I didn't remember what it was like to be excited for Nintendo things.
Yeah, I was too at first. Then I thought about it a bit more.
Hater.
Ouch.
There are questions.
Yeah, like how black is your soul?
Like how good can a mobile GPU and all-in-one chipset be for an actual home console if it is, and if it's not, then anyway, lots of questions which we answer on the show.
It's going to be better than my 3DS, and that's all I care about. That's the bar needs to clear. Sure. Chris, where can folks find your work?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, Twitter, all ending in ChanmanV, so all the channels there. And check out my newest game show, Streamer Showdown. I debuted it this past week in Overwatch, and it was a lot of fun. Had Stir, Poke, Harblue, and then ZP hosted. So you can catch the VOD actually on my YouTube channel. And we're going to be debuting in the Hearthstone community this coming Tuesday. So definitely look for that. That will also be broadcasted live too on my channel. But it's just a fun game show. I don't know if you guys caught the first one or not, but been working like a lot of months on it. So we were just extremely thrilled to get it out there. And then the community actually really, really enjoyed it too. Also doing Value Town, just my Hearthstone podcast tomorrow. It's not today, so if you guys are expecting it, we're postponing it till tomorrow because Nox is feeling really bad today. So we'll try to do it tomorrow and talk about all the big announcements there.
Awesome. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Garrett Art, 2 R's and 2 T's and Garrett, and everything else is over at amove.tv. Got a couple new shows up. Launched a World of Warcraft podcast with Jocelyn called For Azeroth. So if you want to hear us continue...
Oh, that's brand new?
Yeah. If you want to hear us continue talking World of Warcraft, if you liked our WoW discussion on Embrace the Spoilers, tune into that. And also, Embrace the Spoilers is back. We're spoiling Westworld, and we've launched a Kickstarter for the winter movie season as well for Embrace the Spoilers, so go check that out. Also, thank you, everyone who have been leaving 5-star reviews for Overwatchers on iTunes. It helps the show out a lot. Thank you to Wiznox, Rectify, Beanabop, Dak276, and Infinite114. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We're going to see, hopefully, many of you at BlizzCon. But until then, good luck and have fun.
Bye.
Later.